if we have a visitor from the cosmic street to our backyard, it may not be a rock. It could be a tennis ball thrown by a neighbor. So let's look at the data.
Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has raised alarms after the James Webb Space Telescope recorded shocking data on 3I/ATLAS, a Manhattan-sized object moving at impossible speed. The readings don't match known physics, and behind closed doors, NASA scientists are unsettled. Some whisper about miscalculated trajectories. Others fear the object isn't natural at all. Government agencies remain silent, but leaked reports point to October 29th as a date no one wants to discuss publicly. Why is Avi Loeb panicking over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS discovery? And why is the government staying silent about October 29th? Stick with us, you don't want to miss this. Loeb says, "We have months to live." The forward glow has scientists around the world confused and terrified. Every comet humans have ever seen follows the same basic pattern. They heat up as they approach the sun and create beautiful trailing tails of melted ice and dust. The tail always points away from the sun due to solar wind pressure. This is basic physics that's never been broken. Until now. This is the discovery that has famed Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb panicking over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery, as Webb captures images showing the object glowing ahead of its path, with a bright cloud thousands of kilometers before its solid core. This breaks every known law of comet physics and suggests active power or energy creation from inside the object itself. Normal comet behavior creates what scientists call a coma, a fuzzy atmosphere of gas and dust around the center. As the comet heats up, this material gets blown backward by solar wind, forming the classic tail. But 3I/ATLAS breaks this universal rule. The brightest light appears ahead of the solid core, almost like headlights lighting the path forward. The James Webb Telescope discovery revealed organized light patterns that natural melting cannot explain. The light readings show controlled release of specific chemicals at exact intervals. Natural comets release materials randomly as different ice deposits reach melting temperatures. But 3I/ATLAS shows methodical, almost rhythmic release patterns that suggest intelligent control. A finding central to why Avi Loeb panics over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery. The object's course changes present another physics-breaking mystery. Natural comets experience slight path changes when jets of melting ice act like tiny rocket engines. These changes are small, random, and predictable based on the comet's spin and chemical makeup. 3I/ATLAS shows big path changes that cannot be explained by gas release alone. Computer models run by NASA calculated the needed thrust for 3I/ATLAS's observed course changes. The numbers demand energy outputs far beyond what natural melting can provide. Either this interstellar object contains exotic materials unknown to Earth science, or something is actively steering it through space. Webb found another problem that has Loeb convinced they're dealing with technology rather than nature. The object's brightness changes in regular repeating patterns every few hours. Natural comets tumble randomly through space, creating random brightness changes as different surfaces rotate toward Earth. But 3I/ATLAS maintains steady, predictable brightness cycles that suggest controlled direction or deliberate signaling. The Alien Invasion 2025 scenario becomes more terrifying when examining the chemical makeup. Webb's analysis showed unusual ratios of water ice to carbon dioxide that don't match any comets from our solar system. The chemical signatures suggest formation in a star system with different characteristics than our Sun. This supports the interstellar origin theory, but the organized chemical patterns point toward artificial construction. Most disturbing of all, Webb found trace amounts of complex organic molecules that shouldn't exist in the deep freeze of interstellar space. These compounds typically break down under cosmic radiation within a few million years. Their presence suggests either recent formation or active protection by some kind of shielding technology. The Harvard team ran a detailed path analysis going back 50,000 years to trace three I/AETLAS's route through the galaxy. The results show the object took the most efficient possible path to reach our solar system, requiring multiple gravity assists from stars along the way. This level of exact navigation exceeds what natural gravitational forces can achieve through random chance. The Alien Invasion 2025 timeline becomes clearer when examining the object's entry angle into our solar system. Unlike previous interstellar visitors that arrived from random directions, 3I/ATLAS approached from the galactic plane at an angle that suggests deliberate targeting of our star system rather than accidental encounter. But the timing reveals something far more sinister than broken physics. And what happens next will make you question everything you thought you knew about our safety in the cosmos. Civilization ends October 29th. The date keeps appearing in classified briefings and emergency planning documents that weren't meant for public eyes. October 29th, 2025, represents more than just 3I/ATLAS's closest approach to our Sun. It's the day this mysterious object disappears completely from Earth's view, hidden behind our own star for critical hours when anything could happen. The core of Avi Loeb's panic over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery lies in space calculations that reveal perfect timing. The object reaches its closest point to the Sun exactly when Earth's observatories can't track it. That's not a coincidence. That's camouflage. Webb's orbital team ran the numbers thousands of times, hoping to find some error in their calculations. They didn't. 3I/ATLAS will vanish behind the Sun's blazing disk for nearly 18 hours on October 29th. During this blackout period, Earth's most powerful telescopes become useless. Ground observatories can't see through solar radiation, and space platforms like Hubble and Webb cannot point toward the Sun without suffering permanent damage. This terrifying blackout period is what fuels Avi Loeb's panic over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery, transforming scientific curiosity into a strategic nightmare. The psychological warfare implications are staggering. Stock markets around the world could crash if Alien Invasion 2025 fears reach fever pitch during the blackout. Social media would amplify panic as millions of people realize humanity has lost visual contact with a potentially hostile extraterrestrial craft at its moment of closest approach. Government officials are quietly preparing plans for mass civil unrest. Loeb calculated that if 3I/ATLAS wanted to send smaller craft toward Earth, October 29th provides perfect cover for the operation. Any objects released during solar hiding would remain invisible until they're deep within our solar system. By the time 3I/ATLAS emerges from behind the Sun, spy probes could be halfway to Earth with no warning. The interstellar object's backward orbital direction adds another layer of strategic advantage. Most planets and asteroids in our solar system orbit the Sun in the same direction, making interception moves relatively straightforward. But 3I/ATLAS approaches from the opposite direction, making any human spacecraft meeting extremely difficult and fuel-intensive. It's the perfect path for avoiding human interference while maintaining operational flexibility. Military strategists have quietly briefed Pentagon officials about the defensive implications. If 3I/ATLAS represents hostile technology, Earth's current space capabilities offer virtually no protection. Our most advanced missiles cannot reach interplanetary distances, and our spacecraft lack the speed to intercept something moving at 140,000 miles per hour. The technology gap would be like Bronze Age warriors facing modern jet fighters. The timing becomes even scarier when viewed against human historical development. 3I/ATLAS entered our solar system's outer regions approximately 8,000 years ago, precisely when human civilization began developing agriculture, writing systems, and permanent settlements. If advanced extraterrestrial observers wanted to monitor human technological progress, this timeframe marks the perfect starting point for long-term surveillance. The James Webb Telescope discovery detected subtle changes in 3I/ATLAS's light patterns as it approached the inner solar system. The chemical signatures are shifting in ways that suggest internal systems activating or warming up after thousands of years in deep space sleep. These changes speed up as October 29th approaches, almost like a countdown sequence, preparing for some predetermined event. The dark forest hypothesis provides a chilling framework for understanding the potential threat. This theory suggests that intelligent civilizations remain hidden throughout the galaxy because exposure leads to destruction by more advanced species. If 3I/ATLAS represents a predator civilization, the October 29th solar conjunction offers perfect conditions for attacking an unsuspecting prey species, namely us. Government space agencies have quietly increased monitoring efforts around Mars, Venus, and Earth's moon as October approaches. Classified reports mention strange activity detected by military satellites, but details remain hidden from public view. The official silence suggests authorities know more about 3I/ATLAS than they're revealing, possibly to avoid mass panic, before they understand the true nature of the threat. The Alien Invasion 2025 preparations include repositioning military satellites and activating deep space radar systems that typically remain dormant. These movements suggest government officials are taking the extraterrestrial threat seriously, despite public denials about the object's artificial nature. Yet while governments prepare in secret, the scientific establishment has launched an all-out war against anyone suggesting extraterrestrial origins. What happens when career survival conflicts with potentially world-changing discoveries? Oxford scientist calls Loeb insulting as academic war erupts. The astronomy establishment has drawn battle lines against Avi Loeb's extraterrestrial hypothesis, with a fury that reveals deep institutional fears about paradigm-shifting discoveries. Chris Lintott from Oxford University launched the most brutal public attack, dismissing any suggestion of artificial origins as nonsense on stilts, and calling Loeb's research an insult to the exciting work going on to understand this object. The academic warfare escalated when the global media attention on Avi Loeb, panicking over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery intensified, as mainstream astronomers worried that alien theories could threaten funding for legitimate research. They're desperately trying to maintain the story that 3I/ATLAS represents normal cosmic debris despite mounting evidence to the contrary. The entire controversy surrounding Avi Loeb panicking over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery has forced a public debate that many in the academic community never wanted to have. University of Regina's Samantha Lawler joined the attack with carefully crafted statements emphasizing that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But her defensive tone betrays deeper concerns about the implications if Loeb proves correct. The evidence is already extraordinary. It's the interpretation that traditional science cannot accept without destroying decades of established theory. The institutional response reveals more about academic politics than scientific objectivity. Loeb's reputation as a Harvard theoretical physicist makes him impossible to dismiss easily, forcing critics to attack his methods rather than his credentials. They're questioning his peer review process, funding sources, and research methodology, while carefully avoiding direct engagement with the observational data that supports his conclusions. Behind closed doors, many astronomers privately admit that 3I/ATLAS shows genuinely puzzling characteristics that don't fit standard comet models. But public statements remain uniformly skeptical because career advancement depends on maintaining consensus with establishment positions. Suggesting alien technology could end research careers and destroy institutional relationships built over decades. The peer review system itself has become a weapon in this academic war. Traditional journals are rejecting papers that seriously consider extraterrestrial hypotheses, forcing researchers like Loeb to publish through preprint servers that bypass conventional gatekeeping mechanisms. This creates a feedback loop where alien-related research appears less credible because it cannot access prestigious publication venues. International collaboration efforts have fractured along ideological lines. European Space Agency scientists privately express more openness to unconventional explanations, while NASA officials maintain strict adherence to natural origin theories. These divisions are hampering coordinated observation efforts at the exact moment when a unified scientific response is most crucial. The debate has spilled beyond academic circles into popular science communication. Neil deGrasse Tyson and other celebrity astronomers face pressure to publicly denounce alien speculation, while privately acknowledging that some observations remain genuinely unexplained. Their influence shapes public perception in ways that may be preventing serious consideration of paradigm-changing possibilities. The UFO sighting news community has embraced Loeb's theories with enthusiasm that makes traditional scientists uncomfortable. This association with conspiracy theorists and alien believers creates guilt by association that damages Loeb's credibility within academic circles. The social stigma attached to UFO research creates institutional pressure to reject any evidence that might support extraterrestrial explanations. Professional societies are quietly updating their ethical guidelines to discourage sensationalized interpretations of astronomical data. The new policies specifically mention avoiding speculation about extraterrestrial spacecraft evidence without explicitly naming targets like Loeb. These bureaucratic moves reveal institutional determination to suppress unconventional thinking through administrative pressure rather than scientific debate. The funding implications add another layer to the academic warfare. Government research grants rarely go to scientists who promote controversial theories, regardless of supporting evidence. This creates financial incentives for maintaining conservative positions, even when observations suggest more radical explanations. The system rewards conformity over intellectual courage at precisely the moment when bold thinking is most needed. NASA alien proof remains elusive, partly because institutional structures discourage researchers from seriously investigating unconventional possibilities. The career risks associated with alien research create a selection bias where only the most established scientists, like Loeb, can afford to pursue such investigations without destroying their professional futures. The James Webb Telescope discovery has intensified these academic battles because the observational data are so clear and undeniable. Critics can no longer dismiss Loeb's theories based on insufficient evidence. They must attack his interpretations while offering no credible alternative explanations for the anomalous observations. But while academics fight amongst themselves, humanity's last chance to gather intelligence about this mysterious visitor approaches rapidly, and what we discover could determine our species' survival. So, what will our final observations reveal about the true nature of 3I/ATLAS before humanity's Judgment Day? The HiRISE camera aboard Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter represents humanity's last chance to gather intelligence about 3I/ATLAS before it vanishes forever into interstellar space. On October 3rd, 2025, this advanced imaging system will capture photographs with 30-kilometer resolution, as the mysterious object passes within 29 million kilometers of Mars. These images could finally determine whether we're observing ancient cosmic debris or advanced extraterrestrial technology conducting reconnaissance on our solar system. A question that lies at the heart of why Avi Loeb panics over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery. The timing couldn't be more critical, as the scientific fervor surrounding Avi Loeb panics over James Webb's 3I/ATLAS new discovery reaches its climax. Mars provides the perfect observation platform because the planet's thin atmosphere won't interfere with detailed imaging, and the close approach distance offers unprecedented detail about the object's surface features and structural composition. Earth-based telescopes cannot achieve this level of resolution, even with the most advanced systems. NASA engineers are reprogramming HiRISE's targeting systems to track 3I/ATLAS during its Mars flyby. The camera normally photographs stationary surface features, but tracking a fast-moving interstellar object requires completely different pointing calculations and exposure protocols. The technical challenges are immense, but the scientific payoff could answer the greatest question in human history. Are we alone in the universe? The images will reveal whether 3I/ATLAS has a rough, irregular surface, typical of natural comets, or smooth geometric features suggesting artificial construction. Natural space rocks show impact craters, fracture patterns, and random surface variations accumulated over millions of years in space. Manufactured objects display organized structures, regular patterns, and deliberate design elements that natural processes cannot create. Loeb calculated that if 3I/ATLAS deployed advanced probes toward Mars, the HiRISE camera might detect them as small bright objects preceding the main body. These advanced scouts would be invisible to Earth-based telescopes due to size and distance limitations. But Mars alien technology detection could reveal their presence and movement patterns. The discovery of multiple objects traveling in formation would provide definitive proof of artificial control rather than a natural trajectory. The chemical analysis capabilities of Mars orbiters will study the composition of any dust or gas emissions from 3I/ATLAS during closest approach. Natural comets release predictable combinations of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and simple organic compounds when heated by solar radiation. Artificial objects might emit exotic propulsion byproducts, refined metals, or complex chemical signatures indicating technological processes. Ground-penetrating radar aboard Mars orbiters could potentially detect the internal structure of 3I/ATLAS if the object passes close enough. Natural comets show random distributions of ice and rock throughout their interiors. Constructed spacecraft would display organized internal compartments, structural frameworks, and possibly empty spaces designed for specific functions. These structural differences would be clearly visible in radar imaging data. The magnetic field measurements during the Mars flyby will provide crucial evidence about the object's true nature. Mars Global Surveyor and other orbiters carry sensitive instruments that could detect artificial electromagnetic signatures if 3I/ATLAS contains active electronics or propulsion systems. Natural space rocks generate minimal magnetic fields, while operating spacecraft produce distinctive electromagnetic patterns. Communication monitoring equipment on Mars could intercept any radio transmissions from 3I/ATLAS during the close encounter. If the interstellar object is attempting to communicate with base civilizations or coordinate with other spacecraft, the signals would be strongest during a planetary flyby when transmission power requirements are minimized. Mars-based receivers are perfectly positioned to detect these communications. The orbital mechanics team has calculated that any course corrections made by 3I/ATLAS during the Mars encounter would be clearly visible through precise position measurements. Natural gravitational perturbations are predictable and small, but active propulsion systems would create trajectory changes that violate gravitational models. These maneuvers would provide undeniable proof of artificial control. October 2025 alien contact scenarios depend entirely on what these final observations reveal. If high-rise images show clearly artificial structures or organized surface features, it will confirm that advanced alien civilizations exist and are actively observing our solar system. If the images reveal only natural rock and ice formations, it might calm fears about imminent alien invasion while still leaving many questions unanswered about the object's strange behavior. International space agencies are coordinating observation efforts to maximize data collection during this historic opportunity. European, Japanese, and Indian Mars orbiters will supplement NASA observations to create a comprehensive surveillance network around the planet. This unprecedented collaboration reflects the global recognition that 3I/ATLAS might represent humanity's first encounter with extraterrestrial technology. The data analysis timeline is compressed because 3I/ATLAS will disappear behind the Sun just weeks after the Mars encounter. Scientists have limited time to process observations and reach conclusions before the object becomes invisible for months. The pressure to interpret evidence correctly is enormous because this opportunity will never come again in human lifetimes. Military satellites are also being repositioned to monitor the Mars encounter from multiple angles. Classified space assets, typically used for Earth surveillance, are being redirected toward Mars to gather intelligence about 3I/ATLAS's capabilities and intentions. The military interest suggests government officials are taking the potential extraterrestrial threat seriously, despite public denials. The Alien Invasion 2025 timeline hinges on these final Mars observations. If 3I/ATLAS deploys reconnaissance craft during the Mars flyby, it would indicate active intelligence gathering in preparation for more aggressive actions. The deployment patterns and technological capabilities revealed during this encounter could determine whether humanity has months or years to prepare for potential contact. The stakes couldn't be higher as humanity approaches this cosmic moment of truth. Either we're about to confirm the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence, or we'll discover that nature can create phenomena far stranger than our current physics can explain. Both possibilities will fundamentally change our understanding of our place in the universe. The countdown to October 3rd continues as telescopes around Mars prepare for what might be the most important scientific observation in human history. What will happen when 3I/ATLAS vanishes behind the Sun on October 29th, 2025? Proof of alien contact or proof Avi Loeb was wrong about the James Webb discovery? Is October 2025 the date for alien contact, or is 3I/ATLAS just NASA's most mysterious natural phenomenon yet? Let us know what you think. Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.